It was a brazen bank heist by the Hollywood-inspired type in which the criminals never wore ski masks or kidnapped a close family member of the bank staff and coerced them to hit the send button else their loved one dies. But in two precision requests for debt servicing payments, $6.134 million or 22.3 billion shillings meant for debt repayment to the World Bank's International Development Association was nibbled to a bank account in Tokyo, Japan of a private company, Roadway Company Limited, on September 10th. Another $8.569 million or 31.2 billion shillings meant for repayment to the African Development Bank's African Development Fund was instead wired to a bank account in London, England of a private company, MJS International, on September 26th. In total, 52.2 billion shillings was spirited out of the cash-strapped and debt-distressed treasury in a scheme involving computer experts and accountants operating in a shadowy world of the internet, manipulating financial information with the stroke of a few keys. Daily Monitor first lifted the lead on the matter late last month, and President Museveni ordered Police's Criminal Investigations Directorate, with involvement of counterintelligence sleuth from the Defense Intelligence and Security, previously known as Chieftaincy of Military Intelligence (CMI), and the Auditor General's office to inquire into the matter.
Right Honourable Speaker,
the Junior Minister for Finance, Henry Musasizi, later on December 1st confirmed to Parliament of the heist, which he labelled a hack.
I wish to state that it is true our accounts were hacked into, but not to the extent of what is being reported.
The minister made the comments following inquiry by the leader of opposition.
It's important that we know what exactly is happening at our central bank. If monies are being siphoned, whether it be by hackers, whether it be by staff of Bank of Uganda, it should worry all of us.
When this happened, we instituted an audit and at the same time an investigation. The Auditor General is doing the audit, and CID at the same time is doing an investigation. Madam Speaker, to avoid misrepresentation of facts, I wish to seek indulgence of this House that we be patient when the audit is finalized, which is now at the tail end, and also CID finalizes his investigation. I come to this House and report.
What a responsible government does is to issue an interim statement reassuring the public, disclosing what will not prejudice the investigations. A responsible government does not stand up in Parliament and say, we are investigating, we will not tell you anything. Because by you saying you are going to investigate, you are even carrying out an audit, you have actually admitted that you don't know. That's why you are investigating, that's why you are auditing.
A highly confidential information systems audit sanctioned by Bank of Uganda top management to examine the extent of the plunder and also guide management to controls has offered glimpse to the scheme as having been engineered at Ministry of Finance. The information systems audit, codenamed Project I, undertaken by the consultancy firm PricewaterhouseCoopers PwC, has recommended that BoU engages with the Auditor General and the police to further undertake procedures aimed at assessing the culpability of individuals involved. The audit pointed to several persons of interest whose names we cannot name here for legal reasons inside Ministry of Finance, who should be interrogated and pinned further. The audit recommended working in collaboration with telecom companies and other state agencies to identify communication between directors of Roadway Company Limited and MJS International and their co-conspirators in Uganda. The PwC auditors reached out to their networks of gumshoes in England and Japan to conduct open internet searches in order to identify any details relating to Roadway Company Limited and MJS International. The results from these searches indicate there are a number of companies around the world registered as MJS International. In addition, high-level searches conducted by our UK team indicated that there is no MJS International that is registered at the address captured in the transaction details, i.e. Cavendish Square, London. The address belongs to a building in central London used by individuals who wish to rent office space. The audit reads in part. BoU revealed last week that the corresponding bank in London had managed to recover $8.205 million or 22.9 billion shillings wired to MJS International and are now pursuing a balance of $390,000, about 141 million shillings. However, inside sources told NTV that the government should write off the $390,000 as it has since vanished. On the other hand, results of searches in Tokyo indicate that there are about 7 companies with the name identical to Roadway Company Limited. There was, however, one company with the address similar to the one in the transaction details. Consistent with the description in the changes payment instruction, which stated that they were being paid recycling plant systems and machinery, this company also appears to be in a recycling business and has a simple website, which does not have business activities in Uganda, let alone Africa. BoU has so far been unsuccessful in getting back the funds wired in Tokyo. Sources indicated that the Tokyo-based partners of the syndicate in Kampala had presented solid and sufficient paperwork to prove that they undertook the said activities against which BoU effected payment. Nevertheless, according to our sources, it is upon basis of the systems audit that the BoU Deputy Governor, Michael Atingego, came out last week to tactically cast the blame far away from his doorsteps.
These fraud incidents were initiated outside the BoU IT systems to divert the funds. Bank of Uganda is a paying entity. You get instructions to pay, and we pay.
He said they are exculpated in the whole affair.
Repeat, the fraud incidents were initiated outside the Bank of Uganda IT systems, and instructions were received by Bank of Uganda to pay the wrong beneficiaries, leading to the subsequent diversion of the funds. Now, where the diversion took place, how and who were involved is a subject matter of the ongoing investigation, for which I cannot comment.
Since January 2022, Atingego has been holding fort simultaneously as Governor, Deputy Governor and BoU Chairperson, while President Museveni continues to keep the cards to his chest about the choice of the next governor since the passing of Emmanuel Tumusiime Mutebile.
Whenever such a thing happens, you report this one to the police, and it's only normal for the police to take statements from all the staff who have a relationship or who work on such matters, who take part in the process of payments. So what has happened is that we are cooperating with the relevant authorities to provide information that is needed to conclude the investigation. To the best of our knowledge, no Bank of Uganda staff has been implicated thus far.
In the heist incident, findings indicate that payment invoices for debt repayment were created, reviewed, approved, and fed into the payment portal, the Integrated Facility Management System, or IFMS. En route, an office and possibly working with others intercepted the files, manipulated them by changing the particulars of the payees, and relayed the files to BoU for payment. PwC indicated in their report that they could not flash a light in the far corners of the payment system as the Ministry of Finance was uncooperative in granting ACE. In some cases, the ministry indicated that the Auditor General's audit will deal with the matter at length. Inside sources told NTV that the Finance Ministry officials stalling on the PwC findings, which place culpability inside the ministry, and insisting on awaiting on a separate ongoing probe by the Auditor General as the supreme in-country audit institution mandated to audit and report on all public accounts as per Article 163 of the Constitution. We were unable to undertake these procedures, including analysis of the Ministry of Finance IFMA's application level access logs to determine who may have accessed the application to extract the genuine payment instructions due to some limitations, PwC wrote. According to the audit, several red flags that could have been caught lie at the ministry. For instance, the first heist, the spiriting away of $6.134 million, happened in early September, but the Ministry of Finance, by omission or commission, kept lead on the matter until IDA flagged the late payment in early October. Even then, according to sources, it took another month for the ministry to call in the Auditor General's office. The ministry spokesperson, Jim Mugunga, however, deflected any blame, telling NTV that related facts are still under investigations. As soon as there is clarity, the Ministry of Finance will, as usual, share an official update. I'm not aware of a final report that has been shared in this respect, Mr. Mugunga said. The PwC Systems Audit probes details that the payment requests were created, reviewed, approved, and assembled through the instruction file in the Integrated Facility Management System. The payment invoices went through the several procedure IT systems, from the Secure File Transfer Protocol, SFTP, a secure file transfer protocol that uses secure encryption to provide a high level of security for sending and receiving file transfer, to the BoU banking system that validates the payment files and then generates an e-statement of the transaction, which is encrypted and backed up on the Management File Transfer Server, MFTS server. Upon payment in BoU, an encrypted confirmation of payment is then relayed back from BoU to the concerned office in Ministry of Finance. The systems audit probe established that the emails for both the formatted payment instruction file appear to have been intercepted and some of the contents in the attachments changed, and new emails with changed attachments sent to mailboxes of select staff via an online spoofing service hosted in Czech Republic in Central Europe. Similarly, the email for payment statements sent by BoU to the Ministry of Finance as initiator of the request for payment appear to have been intercepted via an online spoofing service used to disguise a sender's identity and impersonate another system hosted in Czech Republic and the Internet Protocol or IP address 14.29.236.247. An IP address is a unique identifying number used to communicate for each device that connects to the Internet. For example, when you try to log on to www.ntv.co.ug, your browser first has to translate that symbolic domain or website name into an IP address. The above findings imply that in both incidents, the payment instruction files were manipulated, hanged prior to encryption, and onward relayed to BoU via the SFTP and MFTS servers, the audit details.
Bank of Uganda staff have cooperated with the investigating authority, and to the best of our knowledge, no staff has so far been implicated, nor been named in this. So, maybe let me conclude on this. I'm just asking the public to remain patient and allow the relevant government agencies to conclude their investigations. Bank of Uganda will issue a comprehensive report. We will issue very comprehensive report on the incident once the investigations are complete.
While questions abound about BoU hurriedly sanctioning its own probe, and which has seemingly exculpated the bank staff for the Ministry of Finance, which has the ball in its court, the incident adds to a litany of scandals bubbling below the surface at the Sir Apollo Kagwa Road-based ministry, including claims of some officials chasing the gravy train, having amassed wealth of epic proportion, including vast real estate empires in record time. The State House Anti-Corruption Unit has piqued interest in some of its officials, including one official dubbed the sex pest for bragging publicly about his prowess and sleeping around with female staffers in desperate need for job placement and redeployment. Beyond the sheer amount of money involved, the theft of money by stroke of keyboard underscores the vulnerability of financial institutions around the world to clever criminals working to stay a step ahead of the latest technologies designed to thwart them. In Uganda, endemic corruption has earned its place as it has permeated every pocket of society, including sacred places like temples of justice and the church, as placed civil servants as they chase the gravy train.